pushing the shady, the hoping and the praying and the wishing. Girl, you're right here in my face. Feel this way till the end of time. Every single prayer for you, babe. Don't take your love away. Loving, 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 loving you is easy. Your legs spread all over the place. I wanna be able to love you. Oh, baby. Woo. Ladies and gentlemen, silhouette of a perfect phrase. When it hurts, will we still see what we got together?
Avant had one of the smoothest voices in R&B, but behind those silky ballads was a brutal industry battle, heartbreaking betrayal, and a career path that refused to play by anyone else's rules. Avant didn't just vanish because of trends or streaming. He was pushed out by gatekeepers who never believed in his style, even when the fans did. From label delays to viral lies about his health, Avant's journey is one of the most underrated fights in R&B history. And the real story? It's deeper, messier, and way more inspiring than anyone knew. This isn't just about a singer who stepped back. This is about an artist who got dragged through it, stayed true to his voice, and refused to bow to an industry built on chasing the next trend. In Avant's latest news, we're going behind the scenes of the delays, the health rumors, and the missed opportunities that shaped a career that should have been legendary. Let's talk about what really went down. Avant started out like many stars do, growing up in Cleveland, raised by his mom Alberta, and singing in church from the age of 4. But life didn't give him anything easy. When his dreams of playing sports in high school ended, Avant turned all his focus to music. He worked in factories and peanut plants just to keep going. His big moment came in a local studio where he heard his own voice on playback for the first time. That was it. He knew he had something special. So did the studio owner, who told him to go solo. From there, Avant poured his real-life heartbreaks into songs. That pain turned into power when he dropped Separated, a breakup ballad so raw and relatable that it hit the R&B charts fast. The track proved Avant wasn't just another singer. He had real stories to tell, and people were listening. When his debut album, My Thoughts, hit in 2000, he was officially on fire. And his duet, My First Love with Kiki Wyatt, instant classic. But even with all that momentum, the industry wasn't giving him the flowers he deserved. Critics tried to label him a Robert Kelly knockoff. Totally unfair. While the fans saw his originality, the business side kept comparing him to other artists and ignoring what made him different. And things only got tougher from there. After proving himself with real chart-topping success, Avant faced delay after delay from his label MCA. They didn't believe in his second album, Ecstasy, and left it sitting on the shelf. But Avant wasn't about to let that slide. He sent Making Good Love straight to radio without their blessing. The result? A massive hit. MCA finally released the album, but that stunt showed exactly what Avant was up against, a system that didn't trust him even when he delivered. And as time went on, that fight only got harder. The music industry was changing fast. Labels were shifting focus to younger, flashier artists who could go viral or jump on trends. Avant's slow-burning, emotional R&B wasn't what they wanted to back anymore. He wasn't chasing fame with gimmicks. He was sticking to heartfelt lyrics and soulful production. And while that earned him respect from real fans, it also made it harder to get airplay or promotional support. Every hit felt like a battle. He wasn't just competing with other singers, he was up against an entire industry that had decided he didn't fit the mold anymore. Even when his music was undeniably good, he got pushed to the side. And the industry wasn't the only enemy. Public perception turned on him too. In 2016, a photo of Avant hit the internet where he looked heavier than usual. That one angle was enough for social media to turn cruel. Memes and jokes spread like wildfire. Then came the fake health scare in 2019, when rumors claimed Avant had lupus and only 6 months to live. It was totally false, but the damage was done. Instead of people talking about his music, they were caught up in gossip. Avant later came forward and shut down the lies, saying he had no idea where the rumor even came from. But in an age where headlines move faster than facts, it was another blow to his image. Even with all that noise, Avant kept releasing music. He stayed focused on his craft, dropping Not Gone Lose as both a comeback and a message. He wasn't giving up. He wasn't chasing streams. He was making music that meant something, but staying in the game wasn't easy. He moved from MCA to Geffen, then to Capitol Records. Still, the labels didn't know how to market him. His 2008 album dropped with barely any push and faded fast, despite having solid tracks. Avant didn't have time for guesswork. As he said in an interview, "I don't really have time for someone to try to figure out how to work with me." So he kept moving forward. In 2010, he released The Letter with Ver Forecast, followed by Face the Music in 2013. That one included another Kiki Wyatt duet, You and I, reminding everyone that their chemistry was still magic. But again, radio didn't give it the spin it deserved. Avant's scandal update wasn't about controversy, it was about being constantly sidelined. He didn't want to play the industry's game. He didn't want to reinvent himself into something fake. That decision cost him airplay, magazine covers, and mainstream support. But it gave him something bigger: control. Avant's music kept evolving, but he never chased clout. He focused on songwriting, storytelling, and staying honest. That commitment separated him from a wave of artists who were writing trends, but saying nothing real. By 2019, he was back again, this time with SRG/ILS. Not Gone Lose wasn't just a comeback, it was a mission statement. He wasn't in it for fame, he was in it to connect. And Avant didn't stop at music. He co-wrote a book called Betrayal of Mankind, teaming up with writer Vincent Dix to speak on animal mistreatment. A whole new direction. But it showed something important. Avant was still growing, still creating, still using his voice for something that mattered. Avant's latest news isn't about topping charts, it's about refusing to give up. And that's the part the industry couldn't erase. Avant's journey hit every pressure point an artist can face. Career roadblocks, bad contracts, label politics. Still, he found a way to fight back with his art. He never switched up to be cool or get on TikTok trends. He stayed in his lane and trusted that his fans would ride with him. And they did. Even when radio turned their backs, his core supporters never left. His collaborations with Kiki Wyatt remain unmatched. Songs like My First Love and You and I have lasted because they're not about trends, they're about real love and connection. They hit because they were honest. Avant's scandal update shows how brutal the system can be. He faced labels that didn't know how to market real soul. He faced lies about his health that spread faster than his music. And through all that, he kept writing, singing, and showing up. That kind of longevity isn't luck, it's loyalty. He stayed loyal to his sound, his fans, and himself. That's rare. And while the mainstream may not give him the credit he deserves, the legacy he built says it all. Real R&B heads still know the name. They know the songs. And they know the story isn't over. Avant's choices proved that there's still a place for authenticity in music. You just have to fight harder to keep it alive. Avant's story comes with layers people don't always see. He didn't just write love songs, he crafted memories. Separated was based on real pain. Making Good Love wasn't about flash, it was about intimacy and connection. And he always made sure his music sounded like him, not what was hot that year. Even in the studio, Avant was hands-on. His partnerships with legendary producers like Jermaine Dupri and Rodney Darkchild Jerkins brought out some of his best work, especially on albums like Director and Private Room. Those records weren't just albums, they were experiences. And his duets with Kiki Wyatt, they weren't manufactured. They were magic. Their voices blended like they were meant to be singing together. People still walk down the aisle to My First Love and slow dance to You and I. That's the kind of impact you can't fake. Beyond music, his venture into writing showed another side of his creativity. The Trial of Mankind wasn't about chart topping. It was about purpose. That move proved he had more to say than what could fit in a verse. Avant wasn't afraid to explore new spaces. And through it all, he kept control of his narrative. That's rare in a world where artists often lose their voice once the spotlight fades. Avant kept his. He wrote his own story, even when others tried to write him off. He didn't let one bad photo or a fake health rumor define who he was. Instead, he put out new music, tried new projects, and stayed grounded. Avant's latest news proves that staying true doesn't mean staying still. It means evolving on your terms. Avant may not be topping the charts right now, but that doesn't mean his story is over. In fact, it might just be getting started again. He's already shown the world he can make timeless music, survive the industry's cold shoulder, and rise above the rumors. He's still writing, still performing, and still doing it all without selling out. Avant's scandal update shows us the cost of authenticity, but it also shows the reward. He's one of the few artists who stayed true to their voice from day one, no matter what. And that kind of consistency matters, especially now, when so much of music feels like a flash in the pan. So, here's the question. Do you think staying true to your sound is worth more than chasing a hit? Would you rather have a long-lasting impact or short-term hype? Drop your thoughts in the comments. What's your favorite Avant track? Which album meant the most to you? Let's talk about it, because one thing's for sure, Avant's legacy isn't fading. It's just waiting for the next chapter. And we'll be right here when it drops.